how much I love that Nintendo Switch! What's going on, Switch fam? It is your boy QKG, and today I got something a little different for you guys. I'm doing more of a double review style, but at the same time, I'm kind of comparing the games and, you know, doing compare and contrast and giving you guys two different options for you, because these are both kind of nods to the classic 90s shooters, and I picked up both of them, and I was going to review Ion Fury like forever ago, and then I never got around to doing it. But when I picked the games back up, because I had to go back in the backlog, bro, man, and then me just actually purchasing Project Warlock, I did not have this one in the backlog, but this is a game that has taken up a lot of my time currently, and I find myself coming back to that game constantly. So let's go ahead and talk about both of these games. We're going to start off with Ion Fury first. So Ion Fury is a very fast-paced game with a big environment to explore, and this is more of your female Duke Nukem. So you're going to have weapons that feature these alternative fire options to bring a new element to the gameplay. So it's going to be your, of course, Duke Nukem style shooter, but with these new alternative fires, it makes your weapons perform in a different way, and also, I mean, it leaves a good impression. Like, as soon as you see that your shotgun looks like a grenade launcher, you're like, I wonder what else this can turn into. But whenever it comes down to the actual fights and how the game feels, it's very fast-paced and very skill-based. And if you're somebody that's lacking, especially if you play this on the normal difficulty, there were plenty of times where I got stuck. This game is actually very fast-paced and it's very skill-based, and if you're somebody who is not hitting those shots as accurately and as quick as possible, you're gonna have kind of a tough time. So this is more of one of those adrenaline junkie style shooters. This being a build engine game, it actually still has a very clean look to it, and that's what this game has over Project Warlock, which has more of the pixelated feel. But Project Warlock definitely has its own positives when it comes into that being a part of that family. But when it comes down to this game and how it visually looks, it looks clean. And then when the game running 60 FPS, of course, on anything, and you know, it being a fast-paced shooter, it's got a great feel as far as gameplay and visuals. And then with this game having really cool looking guns, man, I can't lie, like that shotgun is probably my favorite weapon, and it got to the point where I couldn't even keep ammo on the damn thing because I was always trying to use that cheat. But besides the point, the game looks great, plays great, feels great, and it's a great nod to the 90s shooters and to Duke Nukem as well too. So I mean, and then also, low-key, what's kind of funny is that the 60 FPS, that's not how the base game runs. You have to put in the Konami code, which is like up, up, down, down, left, right. It'll be something like that. But when you put that code in, the game is at 60 FPS. So it was kind of a little troll, because if you didn't know about that, and back in that era, of course, you did have a lot of those, you know, like cheat codes and stuff like that. So it was an extra nod and like a little troll on the dev. So that was pretty cool. What really would have set this game off is if it would have had some type of skill tree to where you can get some different builds to where we can tackle this game, you know, multiple different ways. And also, I do feel like maybe if they gave you a little bit more weapons here and there, even though the weapon selection is pretty good, I just feel like maybe if you threw in, like, you know, give an alternative for a different shotgun or different pistol, you know, here and there, like, I just feel like maybe it was a few weapons short, just to, you know, being like one of those WoW games where, you know, like a ton of weapons and a ton of things, you know, to your disposal. But it's still, the weapons that they have in the game all have their alternative fires, but some are kind of meh, to be honest, and then some are pretty decent. But for the most part, Ion Fury is definitely pretty fire in my opinion, and definitely worth the 25 bucks. Now, moving on to the next game, which this is why I kind of was feeling like the game would have been really set off if it had some type of unlocks and, you know, skill trees and whatnot, which the game Project Warlock, which is priced at $14.99. It's actually cheaper than Ion Fury. However, this is going to have more of a pixelated look, like a more earlier, like kind of like the Wolfenstein look, but it's toned up a bit as well. Like, you're gonna have some motion blur, some high resolution textures kind of thing, but it's still gonna have that pixelated classic look, so it's still a nod off to the classic shooters. The game follows a more close-up, grounded feel to where you don't actually get the jump like you can in Ion Fury, so you're kind of movement restricted when it comes to, you know, free movement, but the game is still fast-paced, and it offers a ton of weapons along with unlocks and the game your warlock, so you have spells as well too. So when you're playing through this game and playing through multiple different levels and collecting XP, there's actually loot drops in the game. So if you see a crate on the ground, if you break it, there's a chance it could be some ammo, health, treasure, which gives you XP. So the game gives you multiple different ways to tackle this thing to have a blast at any point. With the character being a warlock, now you have different ways to tackle this game. You can go spell heavy, you can go gun heavy, you can have a mixture of both. So this game just gives you a little bit more to play with than Ion Fury, but you're still a little limited. Like the spaces look really crunched down, and it's a more close-up feel, so you can't jump, but it's still fast-paced, and it gives you more weapon options along with spells. So that's what gives you a lot of different ways, and especially when it comes down to gameplay elements, that's what it has over with Ion Fury, in my opinion. But of course, this is where the game is a little different. This game is a little bit on the shorter end. You have about 25 levels, and they are a little bit quicker. Even though you do have multiple different episodes within those chapters, that gives it more of a longer feel. But when it comes down to the game's gore, it is a freaking gore fest. Sound effects in the game, shooting that shotgun is extremely satisfying. The animations look clean, and the weapons are so fun to use. I love using that nail gun and shooting nails around the corner and watching them ricochet, or even just shooting them into a crowd of enemies and seeing the nails go everywhere. The shotgun is so great to use, and the double barrel is just a monster. And the fact that you can literally upgrade these weapons later on, and these upgrade points you get, it's not like you get a billion of them to where you can just upgrade multiple different things. It's going to take you some time. So you're going to be one of those people, if you want to dump a lot of time into a first-person shooter and just have a blast playing it, kind of with that Doom feel, this is what you're going to get more. So Project Warlock is more of the Doom feel, and Ion Fury is more of the Duke Nukem feel. But in my opinion, I mean, when it comes down to these three, if I were to have to pick one that I was going to play all the time, it'd probably be Project Warlock, just because the game gives me so many different things to do. But I can do an Ion Fury as far as when it comes to movement, how the visuals look, and how those weapons feel, because those animations are cleaner, and it's overall a cleaner looking game as well too. I don't know, that's where I have myself conflicted. In those areas, I would pick Ion Fury, which really sounds weird, but overall, man, both of these are great games, and it's just weird because Project Warlock is like $15. So these games are on the cheaper end, so if you're somebody that's been looking into these games and you're kind of wondering on which one you might play, me personally, I did like Project Warlock more, but there were a lot of things I love in Ion Fury, and I'm still playing both of these games right now. So when it comes down to both of these games, I both think they're fire, and I both think they're pickups and definitely worth the money, 100%. And I'm probably going to go back to playing them. So I'm going to go ahead and catch you guys later. And I would love to thank you guys for tuning into this video. And as always, leave your comments down below. And slide over to my Discord server if you guys want to chop it up with the Switch fam. All we do is literally just post link and chop it up like homies. So I would love to thank you guys for tuning in. This is your boy QKG. And peace out.